Hi, I'm Sean Waterman and you're watching FedScoop TV. Today we're here at the Public Sector Innovation Summit and I'm joined by Richard Young, who's the CIO of the Foreign Agriculture Service at USDA. Thanks for stopping by, Richard.
Thank you for having me.
So what are your top 3 priorities for the rest of this year?
Okay. Top 3 priorities, I meant. If I had to narrow it down, I would definitely say the skill sets and enhancement of the education and learning for the staff and the employee. As we know that IT changes rapidly, and it continues to change, it continues to evolve. And we have to ensure that the staff is being trained and developed as well to deal with these rapid changes, to be able to implement these changes, these policies, and also be able to make sure we can carry out the mission and support the mission as we continue to evolve and develop IT solutions around security, around application development, around network, and the whole slew of things that fall underneath the purview of being a CIO. So I would say continue to train and educate my staff will always be a priority. That's my number 1 priority because I believe that the people are truly the answer to the problems that we have. I would say the next thing would be cybersecurity. For Foreign Agriculture Service, that is huge for us because our presence is overseas. We represent about 157 different countries at 97 different posts and work throughout the embassies. And so we definitely, and we have some that are I would say, a higher threat and interest and some that are moderate and low. However, we need to look at cybersecurity and making sure that we're protecting our assets, that we're protecting our data, our PII, especially for our employees and our staff, and making sure that we can also be able to connect with the public because what we do, we're an organization that really, really works with the public. We work with the cooperatives and we make sure that we help promote trade and help companies get access into these other countries. So we can't just be housed in just our environment. So we have to have the ability to share information and share data. So one of my priorities is making sure that we can share that data and information, but do it securely. Understand that cybersecurity is a priority. It's the number 1 priority of the administration, and it continues to be a priority of the CIOs. I think it always been a priority for CIOs. Is now raised up into the level of I would say the people
Priority
control.
for your boss as
there
well.
You go, priority for the bosses now. And so because of that, it elevated somewhat. And so I would say that would be the next one. And then I said the final one would be able to deliver mobility to our staff. The staff is very diverse. As I told you, in so many different countries and different locations. However, the new generation coming in don't want to sit at a desk and do 9 to 5 anymore. They want to have the ability to be mobile. People want to be able to work from any place, anytime, anywhere. And we should give them those capability, right? We shouldn't be in a position where they don't have that ability to do that. And so IT should be an enabler. It should be helping the mission, not a hindrance. And so one of my things that I push forward is how do we do more mobile application? How do we allow a bigger mobile platform? Even still looking at BYOD. We don't talk about it much, but I know I still think about it because I just believe that as long as we can secure data, I shouldn't care about your device as much. Right. I want to secure that data and then give you access to that data because if we don't do it, I notice people go around. They started moving around security. They started moving around because they have to get the information and data and they have to be able to share it and have that knowledge. So giving more mobility in a secure environment and training my people, those will be my top 3 priorities.
And thinking about those, Richard, what is the most important policy or technology, if you prefer, change that's helped you do your job recently?
Okay. Well, I would say that, there are several different things that we focus on. FATAR helped in some ways. I know some people say, definitely in the component agency, it hurt them. But I use those things to say, well, no, you got to look at the bright side of some of this stuff as well. Right. And the bright side of it is we always have program areas in different places that love to do their own thing and they be in these silos. I'm not saying that you shouldn't have the ability to do your job and your mission, but let's make sure we have the right governance, the oversight, so that we can see where's the synergy, how can we collaborate, how can we use shared service if there's a need to use shared service. It shouldn't be forced on you, but it should be, let's evaluate those things first before we go out and just continue to spend money because the IT budget continues to shrink. It doesn't increase every year like we wish it would. And so the more we can share, the more we can collaborate, the more we can see synergy and come up with collective ideas and think as a whole unit, not as an individual pod, I think it's just going to be better for IT itself. It's going to be better for our budget. It's going to help in the aspect of security. But we also can utilize those things now, not only just within my agency. Can I look across the department and look at other CIOs that maybe can use some of the assets or some of the resources that I've developed, and we're not continuing to redevelop things and make the same stuff because we're in a silo and stovepipe. And then cybersecurity. I mean, the OPM breach really put a light on cybersecurity and the importance of it. It has the attention, once again, of the administrator, of my boss. And once they have their attention, it becomes a priority throughout the organization. And so cybersecurity is a very important aspect of our organization. And the new policy that are coming out, how are we going to implement them? How are we going to adapt to those changes, but at the same time do our mission? I mean, that's a balance that we have to do, because we can't allow cybersecurity to impede the mission that we can't do the mission, because then how we serve the public, how do we serve the community and do our job? But we need to think about it. It need to be ingrained and embedded. And also, I think it should be a part in codifying our budget at the beginning, and really let's start talking about it as I build my application, think about security. How am I building security in my application? How I'm building security across my platform? And when we do those things, I think those two things had the greatest impact on our organization. And I think those are the positive I've seen out of some of those policies and changes.
Yeah. Great answer, thank you. And finally, we live in Washington, so we've noticed that there's an election this year. Perhaps they're not. I think they're just starting to wake up to it in the rest of the country last month or so. But tell me, how is the transition? Obviously there is going to be a new president next year. We don't know who it's going to be. But will that affect your work? You're a career appointee. A lot of people in these CIO positions are, but I mean, there still must be quite a lot of gearing up for the big change.
Oh, yes. I mean, anytime you have an administration change, it definitely is a huge impact or effect, because you go through the process where sometimes administrators or people leave, and you kind of have this dead duck period where it's hard to get decisions made. You have acting people that just want to kind of hold it together but not make decisions to move the organization. That affects budget. That affects how we move. That affects relationships that we spent years to build. Think about it. The Obama administration was here for 8 years. So that's 8 years of consistent relationships. We don't know what that change is going to be, but there will be a change because everyone has to leave and the administration leave. And so those changes have an impact on how do we regenerate those relationships. And when the new administration come in, how do we gain their trust? Because now we have to kind of start the cycle and the clock over a little bit. And how do we earn the right clout and respect so they can allow us to continue to do our job, continue to move forward, or even, I would say, it'd be even better if they could even assist to help us do it even more efficiently and more effectively, right? And that's, and those changes are not all bad, don't get me wrong, because I do believe that change can be great and positive. You can utilize those changes to regenerate new ideas, and you can utilize those changes to also reinvigorate the relationship so that, hey, I got more support. I now, because we've been there, they're going to at least rely on us somewhat. If they're smart, at least, hey, what has been going on before I got here? And now, how do we continue on success? How can we look at areas and gaps and fill those gaps? And how can we get to the future state of where we need to be with IT and our infrastructure? So I think those are going to be some positive in there as well.
All right. Well, Richard, thank you very much for stopping by.
Well, thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure. Thank you.
I'm Sean Waterman. You've been watching FedScoop TV.